Hello, my lovelies. It is time for Assorted Sundries. It's a rant vid today. I know. I don't do these very often. Maybe I should do them more often. Yes. So my idea for today's rant vid came about after watching Streets of Fire for yesterday's vid. It's about Hollywood. And about a lack of interesting faces, and just kind of Hollywood in general. Too much sameness going on, guys. So I realized that Hollywood is big business. It's one of our only exports these days. Quite frankly, we have shipped so many of our jobs overseas, but one thing that is really American is the Hollywood movie. Now, I know that India has a huge Bollywood movie thing going, and there are various places in Asia, and of course the UK, always cranking out good stuff. How do I know? Because I love the BBC and many of its shows, and of course movies. There's still movies being made over there, but Hollywood's kind of the big one, the big movie making place, and while in some ways the movies, I think, have gotten, some ways they've gotten much better, but in a lot of ways I think things have gotten worse. And it all stemmed, my first thoughts started just because of the lack of original faces anymore, it seems like. Hollywood has a lot of problems when it comes to casting its movies. It used to be they would go for interesting faces. Just something memorable. You know, they're lady stars, the old-timey actresses, were very distinctive from one another. Joan Crawford did not look like Marilyn Monroe, who did not look like Jane Russell, who did not look like Rita Hayworth, or Elizabeth Taylor, like these big, Greta Garbo. These big stars had very distinctive faces. Yes, they were all beautiful, but none of them looked like one another. And a problem I have noticed lately is that many modern Hollywood stars look like other Hollywood stars. It's really weird. And it's getting worse. The first time I really noticed this was when Lily Sobieski kind of hit the scene, and she looks like Helen Hunt's sister. She looks like Helen Hunt, you guys. She really does, but they could play sisters. So on the one hand, that's kind of good. If they decide to put Helen Hunt and Lily Sobieski in a movie, that'd be great because they look like sisters. But it's weird because they do look alike. But at least those two have a very distinctive face. Two other actresses that do this to me is Amy Adams and Isla Fisher. I know who Amy Adams is, and I've seen Isla Fisher in things, but I always think she's Amy Adams. But it's not. Those are two separate people who look almost the same, like really close. Katy Perry and Zooey Deschanel look really similar, but, you know, Katy Perry is a pop star. Zooey Deschanel is mostly an actress, but also does sing. But their styles are different enough, I guess, that I can tell them apart. Who are the new ones that I can't tell apart at all? Selena Gomez and Vanessa Hudgens, is that right? Who look like the same person to me too. They're all gorgeous. They're all beautiful, but it's such a sameness that, like, it doesn't seem like there's anybody distinctive anymore. Probably half the reason that Jennifer Lawrence has such a gangbusters career right now is that she looks like Jennifer Lawrence and only like Jennifer Lawrence. Although, seriously, guys, why do you keep casting her in 30-something roles? She's, what, 27? Let her play a 27-year-old. I have a really weird idea. Why don't you get a 30-something actress to play a 30-something? Women in Hollywood are really having a tough time. I know you all have read the the stuff lately about how, like Maggie Gyllenhaal at, how old is Maggie? Is she even 40 yet? Yeah, she's too old to play the love interest of a 60-year-old man, at almost 40. Too old. 20 years younger is too old. They do this all the time where they cast an actor in his 50s and his love interest is 25. Half his age. And that's totally okay and we should buy it. But God forbid they cast an older woman and a younger man. That would never, ever fly. And I'm not even asking them to do that. I'm just asking them to cast actresses that are the same age as the love interest. It's not that difficult. I don't mind seeing wrinkles on a woman's face. Why? It seems like our worth as women is only determined by how young we look. And if you don't look young anymore, then you're worthless and we'll just toss you aside. You're not going to get any work. Very few women over a certain age work steady. And the only reason they work steady is because they are so damned good that you can't not let them work. And even then, they almost always get like grandma roles. They don't get a lot of juicy stuff. The older actresses I'm thinking of, Meryl Streep still gets work because she's Meryl freaking Streep. Of course she still gets work. Dame Judi Dench still gets work. Not as much as she was, though, which is agitating because I love seeing her on any screen. Helen Mirren still gets work, thank goodness, but Helen Mirren is still a knockout. Who else? Maggie Smith. Maggie Smith still gets work, thank God. But they don't get a lot. Not as much as I think they should. I think there are a lot of really good stories out there about women over the age of 30. But I don't think we get to see very many of them. It's such the culture out there is just all about youth, 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 youth. And I don't mind seeing older people, you guys. I want to see their stories. They have a lot of experience. There's probably a lot of cool stuff going on. Although this doesn't apply to men. Liam Neeson. Now, at whatever age Liam Neeson is now, Liam's got to be pushing 60, is a huge bona fide action star. Over the age of 50. I know he's over 50. Yeah. Action star over the age of 50. Totally an action star. But you can't believe that Maggie Gyllenhaal with her little cherub cutie pie face is young enough for a man his age? Maggie Gyllenhaal is adorable. You'd be a fool not to want to date her. Also, did you see Secretary? Seriously. Anywhoodles. Yeah. So some of the casting in Hollywood is really agitating to me. Too much of a sameness. And some of the dudes are like that too. The dudes are starting to look alike even. So I don't know. Switch it up. We like interesting faces. I like looking at Danny Trejo's face. I like looking at Willem Dafoe's face. You know who I miss? Jim Varney. I loved his face and all his wrinkles. Edward James Olmos has an excellent face. There are so many beautiful, wrinkly faces, and those were all dudes. Of course they were. Ladies, I don't really like her politics, but I still like looking at Jane Fonda's face. Lily Tomlin, beautiful face. I love her wrinkles. Thank you. There are a ton of older actresses who I miss seeing. I really miss seeing them because nobody will let them work because they're a certain age. And some of the actresses I miss seeing because they couldn't get work, so then they went under the knife to make themselves, more youthful, and now they're not exactly recognizable. And that also makes me sad. I would have loved to see what Melanie Griffith actually aged into. We'll never know. Meg Ryan's kind of the same way. Poor Meg. Any hoodles. But I mean, even other actresses are having to deal with this crap now, and it frightens me a lot. I am not against plastic surgery at all, but I am against so much plastic surgery that you no longer look like yourself. That's just, and I'm not saying you can't do it or you shouldn't do it. I just feel bad that you feel you need to do it. I guess that's what I should say. So yeah, I'm tired of the same old actors and actresses, just the same look all the time. It drives me crazy. I'm also tired of just remaking the same movies over and over and over again. How's about something new and original? We used to have original scripts and movies, but it's like they can't take the gamble on it anymore because it costs so much to make a movie now that they can't gamble on a sweet little story. That's why I watch a lot of indie movies and I watch a lot of foreign movies because the stuff coming out of Hollywood, sometimes it's just not very good. It's just not. And it makes me sad because I love movies. All right, that's my rant for today. I'm a little over 11 minutes. I could go on and on and on about this, but I'm done ranting. Yeah. Do you have any? Are you upset with Hollywood too and the way things are going? Let me know. Alrighty. I will see you next week. Are we still on again? Yeah. Next week is, yeah, and then I have a week off. Okay, I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. I love you guys. Bye.